Okay, hi all. Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon. In the previous chapter, we already learned and exposed about the leadership. Okay, so normally when you talk about leadership, it's related with the power and influence. So, this week topic, we're going to learn about the influence and the power, influence, and negotiation. So they have three type bases of power. According to French and Raven, we have a position, personal, and additional bases of power. So position, normally the type of power is reward, coercive, and legitimate. Okay, this type of power we come from the position base of power. Then we have personal. Personal is expert and referent. Okay, expert type of power and reference type of power. And lastly, we have additional bases of power is include information power, and also charismatic. Okay, this is the basis of power. We already learned about type of power, right, in the previous chapter. So the basis of power based on the three component, okay, from position, personal, and also additional basis of power. So position come from reward, coercive, and legitimate, while personal, expert and referent, and additional base of power based on information and also charismatic type of power. Okay, basically there are three consequences of three consequences of basis of power. We have complement, we have compliance, and also we have resistance. Complement, compliance, and resistance. Okay, for commitment, commitment is generally when the subordinates are enthusiastic, energetic, and continuously striving to do their best in their meeting. In meeting their leaders' expectations. So this can be brought about through the use of the referent and also expert power. So using this power, the consequences of basis of power, it depends on the commitment. The second is by compliance. The compliance is achieved when the subordinates merely comply with their leaders' wishes and requests. They follow what their leaders order. Okay, work, however, will be accomplished without much enthusiasm. So reward and legitimate power produce such compliance among followers. So in order for you to want to do the consequences during the compliance, in order for you to make your employees or your subordinate want to listen to you, you can use this reward and also legitimate power. Okay, then we have resistance. Okay, resistance is displayed when the subordinates merely pretend to respond to their leader's requests without actually getting the job done. That sometimes resistance could result in a deliberate delay or sabotage of work. So coercive power generates such resistance from followers. If your employees don't want to do the job, okay, they resist to do the job, so you can use your coercive power. Remember what coercive power? Coercive power is a power to use the punishment and so on. Okay, so there are three consequences of basis of power. We have commitment, compliance, and also resistance. Okay, next we move to the influence. So it's what is actually influence meaning. Okay, influence is the process of changing someone's behavior or the degree of actual changes as a result of power. So normally if you have power, okay, you have a chance to change people. So it's actually one of the important features of power. Okay, as stated previously, influence is the process of changing someone's behavior. So the guideline on the basis of power, as we discussed before, it enhances the ability to exercise his or her influence. So definition of influence is actually process of changing someone's behavior, the degree of actual power as result, actual changes as a result of power. So the influence depends on this. Okay, this is the influence. These factors of influence. Okay, nature of group, ambiguity of situation, member are clear of roles, competency of leader, power, self-esteem of leader or self-confidence, and proximity, immediacy of the sources of influence. Okay, we go one by one. Nature of power. Okay, nature of power. So a group that shares similar characteristics will give more support to a leader, thus enhancing the leader's capability to influence. For example, group member which share needs and wants, or the group member who are drawn to, agree with, and become committed to a leader behavior and attitude. This is the nature of the group. Second is ambiguity of a situation in which influence will occur. So a leader will have better influence if group members are clearly about their roles and know what is expected of them. So guideline in their roles as a group member and clear instructions should be provided to facilitate understanding. So all the members in the group must clear about all their individual roles. Group member must not be given difficulty or unfamiliar tasks without clear instruction. Okay, this is second one, the factors of influence. Third one is proximity of the sources of influence. So proximity here refer to the propinquity or immediacy of the sources of influence for organizational members. So it enhances a leader's level of influence. For example, okay, when a crisis is immediately addressed by a leader, this will generate respect from the leader's subordinates, thereby enhancing the leader ability to influence them. Okay. Next, we have self-esteem of the leader, self-esteem of the group member, and also influencer. Okay. A leader with high self-confidence is good in influencing his or her subordinates. So subordinates tend to look up to a leader who is charismatic, has a vision, and also self-assured, and is highly competent when executive a decision. Okay. Then we have a competency of the leader and power of the leader itself. Alright. Next, we move to the influence strategy. Okay, when a leader exercises his or her capability to influence, he or she they may choose to do so using either 4 strategy styles of influencing. The strategy chosen will depend on the contingency factor that discussed in the previous chapter. Okay, there's 4 contingency factor, right? 4 style. In addition, this strategy may also rely on the 3 types of decision to be made. So the nature of the member where the influence is directed. So the implication of decision are made, as well as the leader, as well as a leader's personality. So this strategy are with retribution, reciprocity, and also integration and reasoning. So normally it's 3R: retribution, reciprocity, reasoning. Okay. So let's go one by one. Retribution, they relies on the personal trait that come from formal authority. Okay, so retribution, okay, it relies on the personal trait that comes from the formal authority. So normally they will use the coercion in influencing organizational members to comply. An indirect approach to retribution is the use of intimidation. Okay, so this intimidation here may take from the form of the ostracize or ignore, or being criticized openly. So using this strategy will generate a quick and direct action, but may hinder commitment and creativity. So the first influence strategy is retribution. Next, we go to reciprocity. Okay, next is reciprocity. So the reciprocity strategy, they developed by the 2 professors, Alan R. Chorhan and also David L. Bradford. So they view that using authority, influencing does not always produce what is required. So it does not guarantee support, and commitment, and may create fear in people, and they will be motivated to act for the wrong reason. So thus this strategy aims to influence without using authority, so that the needs and wants of the all party involved in the negotiation are satisfied. So in the other words, the goal is to achieve mutual satisfaction for all parties. So both parties must satisfied. At the end, all parties will gain something. They will gain something in the process. Apart from this, the approach can also be used, and this approach is called integration. So this integration is a simple strategy to influence that seek to get others to like you and enhance comply with your request. So this integration they use the friendliness and also returning of favor. So a person will be obligated when this method is used in influencing group behavior. So this method normally they reduce the resentment and may encourage people to negotiate for favors. So this reciprocity, after the mutual agreement between both parties have been agreed, so they come out with another approach. We call it integration. So integration is where they use the friendliness and also they use the returnings of favor. So you feel obligated when this method is used to influence a group behavior. So in order for you to get people to like you and comply your request, you use this in ingratitude. Okay, next is reasoning. Okay, next we have reasoning. So reasoning is a strategy that aims to get the other party in negotiation to comply with our wishes. So many persuasive leaders, they tend to use these skills of reasoning to get others to conform to their request. So the objective of this strategy is to influence others by explaining to them why it is imperative, or why it is helpful for them to do what they are being asked to do, and to relying on their sense of responsibility or duty to comply. So however, this strategy will be effective only if the person is doing the negotiation is knowledgeable, possesses attractive characteristic and personality, and also well respected by the followers. Okay, so this is the three the influence strategy. With this we have the retribution, reciprocity, and also we have reasoning. Okay, before we proceed, let's see the code for this week quiz. Okay, MGMT 10 nego. MGMT 10 nego stand for negotiate lah. MGMT 10 nego. Okay, now let's proceed to the retribution, pro and cons. Okay, this is the pro and cons of the retribution. They produce immediate effect, the pro. Okay, and follow manager specification is a pro, and cons create resistance, resentment, alienation, stiffness, and initiative, and also innovation. Use sparingly, reserved for coercive. So retribution relies on the personal threat and come from the formal authority. So coercion is used in the influencing. Now we go to the reciprocity, the pro and cons. The pro is that get result without resentment. Both parties benefit. Don't have justified action. Cons require trust. History may catch up. Subordinate expect negotiation for every request, and also undercuts group commitment. So authority in influencing does not always produce what is required. So aims to influence without using authority, so that all the parties in the negotiation are satisfied. Then we have a reasoning, pro and cons. Pro, higher form of compliance, relies on the commitment to group principles, seen as highly effective, low levels of stress, high level of job satisfaction. Demonstrate, this is a cons, demonstrate that you will not use coercion and intimidation. Take time to build trust and understanding, and more people and more time. So leader use these skills of reasoning to get others to conform to their request. Conform is to follow whatever you request for. Okay, next is we're going to learn about negotiations and types of negotiation. Okay, so negotiation is a form of decision making process. It's a form of decision making. So to negotiate effectively, both power and influence are important ingredients to have. First, let us understand what negotiation really is, and there is a several definition of negotiation. So this is one. Negotiation is take place when two or more people with a different view come together to attempt to reach agreement in an issue, and it is a persuasive communication or bargaining. Negotiation or bargaining. So negotiation is about the getting the best possible deal in the best possible way. So however, when we want to put the definition together, we procure the four components. These are the four components of negotiation. First, negotiation is a process. Okay. Second is negotiation involve two parties or more. Third is the parties want to establish a meaningful relationship, and both parties are interested in bargaining for both parties are interested in exchanging or bargaining for something. So thus, negotiation can be seen as a process that involving two parties or more with an understanding of creating a relationship that including businesses, political, economic, or even personal relationship by exchanging something of interest to both parties, which often end with both parties signing a mutual agreement. When both parties are agree, so in between we call it as a negotiation process. Okay, next, negotiation that take place in the organization, they can be categorized into the several types. So some of the types of negotiation are, we have deal making negotiation, value creating negotiation, value claiming negotiation, decision making negotiation, and dispute resolution negotiation. Okay, let's see one by one. Okay, first we have deal making negotiation. So what is a deal making negotiation? So deal making negotiation is negotiation that are aimed in making a deal in business. Okay, if you have a business, normally you will have what we call as a deal making. You make a deal in the business, and this type of negotiation, more than one party will meet to negotiate a business deal or any other types of dealing, which normally results in buying or selling. So this is what we call as a deal making negotiation. Then we have value creating negotiation. So this value creating negotiation is, the purpose of this type of negotiation is to create a value. So this negotiation is conducted to reach an integrative agreement. So it is a joint problem solving effort to achieve result that will benefit the parties involved in the negotiation process. So hence the goals are to create as much as value for yourself and other party, to claim value for yourself, to be open about information and circumstances. The third one, we have a value claiming negotiation. This one is value creating. So this is value claiming negotiation. So negotiation are aimed at reaching distributive agreement. So this means that the party involved in the negotiation will be claiming values. Okay, claiming values of importance in obtaining resources. Okay, important in obtaining resources. So this type of negotiation, they will determine the amount of resources a party will get, and it often also results in a win-loss situation, whereby one party is lost and another party is gaining. Then we have decision making negotiation. The decision making negotiation is carried out when two or more conflicting parties seek to establish desired attitudes and relationships. So this type of negotiation is also known as a attitudinal structuring. Okay, then we have dispute resolution. This dispute is actually the conflict, okay, the complaint or conflict happen. So this type of negotiation involves sets of negotiator that represent different groups. So each set of negotiator tries to build a consensus or agreement to resolve intra-group conflicts before dealing with their other group's negotiator. So it is also termed as intra-organizational negotiation. So there's 5 types of negotiation. We have deal making negotiation, value creating negotiation, value claiming negotiation, decision making negotiation, and also dispute resolution negotiation. Okay, next we go to the consequences of negotiation. So in general, a negotiation is two-way process. As you know, negotiation must have two parties, two-way process that encourage both parties who are negotiating to actively participate in the decision making. So it provides a way of people to learn to understand each other better and to develop their relationship. So a negotiation aims to create a healthy balance between giving and receiving, or making an exchange in which everyone, at least at both ends, is satisfied. So however, this is not always the case. There are other consequences of negotiation. Okay, this is other consequences of negotiation. Okay, we have loss-loss negotiation, win-loss negotiation, and also win-win negotiation. So we see one by one. Okay, we have loss-loss negotiation, win-loss negotiation, and also win-win negotiation. So loss-loss negotiation is result when all parties failing to agree or come with the consensus. Means that both parties, they are not coming with one solution. So both of them they lose. Okay, they are lose. Both parties, they fail to recognize or exploit the more creative option that will lead to the win-win negotiation, because both party means lose lah. That's why we call it as lose-lose negotiation. Win-lose negotiation is the term to a distributive negotiation where one party gain and another party will lose. That win-loss negotiation, one party gain and one party loss. So this negotiation is also called the fixed pie scenario, in that there is only a limited amount of distributed. Both parties are competing to get the most value from the negotiation. And the third consequences of negotiation is win-win negotiation, win-win situation. So the best outcome of the three is called as a win-win negotiation settlement. It's an integrative negotiated agreement. So this style of negotiating enables both parties in a negotiation to reach an agreement after taking into account each other interests, such as the agreement cannot be improved further by any other agreement. So this win-win negotiation is the best negotiation when both parties are gain, where they come up with a solution where both parties will gaining, win-win situation. Okay, next we go how to influence others. Okay, how to influence others. There are 3 ways how to influence others. We call it as 3 P's. Okay, first is by position, by the perspective, and also by the problems. Position is by their power, perspective the empathy, and also problems by the solution. Okay, these are the 3 ways how to influence others. Okay, we call it as 3 P's: position, perspective, and problems. Okay, next we go to the guideline for successful negotiation. Okay, this is a guideline for the successful negotiation. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 step. Okay, first, legitimacy of your case. Second, know your issue, confidence in presenting it, courtesy and respect to other party, adaptation to the other party style, rapport and build trust, increase incentive and also trade off, research the bigger picture, collaborate, and also be reliable. So this is the guideline for successful negotiation. And what are the tips? Okay, you must aim high to begin with. Easier to lose ground than gain. give consensus reluctantly, break down complex deal, language, make proposal with open questions such as what would happen if, suppose we were to, what would be the result of, dealing with stonewall, what would need to happen, you are willing to negotiate over this, and always get agreement in writing. So based on this chapter, we can see that you as a leader, okay, you will have the power, okay, but you need to manage your power, and you have the influence, and also you have power to negotiate. So in the power, okay, right, we check, we repeat again one by one. Okay, we have a basis of power, we have position base of power, we have personal power, and also additional basis of power. So position base of power is include the rewards, coercive and also legitimate power, while personal power is include expert and reference power, and the additional basis of power is include the information and charismatic power. So the information is I told you the information power is someone you become a source of information. So you are being respect, you having that power because you the information that you have. Charismatic is referred to the power that stems of individual's personality and individuality. So this base of power is equally important for leader in order for them to manage their organization. So charismatic power is important to influence organizational member into the believing in their organizational mission and vision statement and work towards accomplishing the organizational goals. So there are three consequences of basis of power. We have commitment, compliance, and resistance. Okay. Then we have learned about the definition of influence. What are the factor that influence? I mean the factor that the factor of influence. Okay, we have a nature of group to be influenced, ambiguity of the situation in which influencing will occur, proximity of the sources of influence, self-esteem of group member and influencer. Then we learn about the influence strategy. We have 3R, okay, retribution, reciprocity, and also reasoning. Then we learn what is a definition of negotiation. Okay, based on the factor of negotiation is a process. Negotiation involves two parties or more. The parties in the negotiation want to establish a meaningful relationship, and both parties are interested in exchanging or bargaining for something. So there are 5 types of negotiation. We have deal making negotiation, value creating negotiation, value claiming negotiation, decision making negotiation, and also dispute resolution negotiation. Then we have the consequences of negotiation. They have 3 consequences of negotiation, which are lose-lose negotiation, win-lose negotiation, and also win-win negotiation. Then we learn about the guideline of the successful negotiation. So there are few guidelines of the successful negotiation. We already learned 10 guidelines of successful negotiation. Okay, we have legitimacy of your case, know your issues, confidence in presenting it, courtesy and respect to other party, adaptation to the other party style, rapport and build trust, incentives and trade-off, research the bigger picture, collaborate, and also be variable. Okay, I think that's all for the class. I think that's all for this week class. So if you don't understand anything, kindly message me, no problem. That's all for today, and have a good day. Bye bye.